The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, Jesus exclaimed, I give you praise to you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth. For although you had hidden these things from the wise and the learned, and you have revealed them to the little ones. Yes, Father, such has been your gracious will. All these things have been handed over to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus. About 23 years ago, my father passed away. It was July 23rd. I was in USA, speaking no English, and tried to communicate with my father, and I let to the priest know that I must go home to bury my dad. I had to say all of this with heavy heart, because your love for someone who you really care is gone. 23 years later, there are 7 children, grandchildren. And you ask one of my nieces or nephews about Grandpa, they will describe him as how he was. Because my mother was sure that everybody knows the story about her husband and how he grew up and how he took care of his own family until he died. He died at age 50, stomach cancer. And I am 49, so I'm afraid to turn 50. So I see the doctor very often. I hope nothing happens. Today we celebrate Father's Day. And in many cultures, especially in many families, we have this beautiful image of the father being so rigid, so strict, because it's the symbol of law and order in the house. Because we were little ones, whatever dad said, we have to do it. We never realize how hard it is for the father to be a father until we grow older and we realize the sacrifices that many times he have to make. Even though for us looked like it was so difficult, for him was very painful until he realized that working extra hours, sometimes not much time to sleep because he's so tired, or sometimes we didn't see him at any kind of events in the school, and we say, Dad doesn't care, not realizing that he really cares and he is working because he wants to provide the best for us. Father's Day is a beautiful celebration, like Mother's Day, but God's image is more maternal and the expression of the Blessed Virgin Mary. We can see that God is love and kind and merciful, and we see that because of the Blessed Mother. We see in Mary all of this. But we forgot about the meaning of fatherhood, also reflected on God. So today we can reflect the meaning of God, the Father, on Father's Day, in the image of Jesus in his sacred heart. We can see that the heart of Jesus is burned with love. The flame is for us to understand that how much God loves each of us, that no matter how bad we are, He is still giving the opportunity to embrace us. And what we do sometimes, we still reject. I wish I can do my grammar very easily when I write in English. But I know that all of you who follow me on Facebook, you can put the word translation and you can see it. And I say that as we celebrate the Sacred Heart of Jesus, we see Jesus as our best friend. And sometimes we do not appreciate that kind of friendship. We see Jesus as our guide, who's guiding us to go into the Father. And sometimes we try to avoid to follow him. We see Jesus, the one who is the light, but we prefer to live in darkness. We see many things about Jesus, because Jesus now is our lawyer, the one who is going to intercede for us if we act with kindness. But sometimes we say, no big deal, later on. St. Augustine would say, I would like to practice chastity, but later on, not today, because he was having a good time. And then when we have the readings, the confessions, at the end he says, realizing that everything what I found about God was too late. I wish I found him earlier. And that happens to all of us. So I remember that when I just finished high school myself, and I said, what should I do with my life? And the first reaction, like many of us probably have in mind, is let us go wild. I don't care about it. Mom and dad cannot tell me what to do. Now I can go to college and do my thing. And guess what? Do your thing doesn't mean much anymore. Because then you realize that you need to have some kind of way of living to make your life straight, because you need money. And then we say you have to work. That is something that at the beginning we say, it's no big deal. Mom and dad can help me. And then you realize that nobody should help you, because that's exactly what your mom and dad did for you, to give you an education so you can go forward. And we change our lives. So today we celebrate the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And we see that Jesus wants for us to embrace us, to keep us closer to him, because he wants to present us to God the Father. And he says, nobody knows the Father except the ones who the Son has revealed. And it's true. Nobody knows better my dad than my nieces and nephews, because my mom was sure to reveal my father to the grandchildren. And it's possible for all of us. People we know about Jesus and the way how you live your faith. People we know that you are Catholics and the way how you live your faith. So for many of us now, sometimes you go to the store and it is a mystery when somebody say to you hello, right? Because we have their mask and you say like, it's me, Padre. Oh, okay, good to see you, right? It's a mystery. But the mystery should be revealed in the way how we act, how we live our life. So Jesus says that he wants to lift the burden within us. And the burden that we have, my friends, can be lifted up if we allow God to come to us. And God will help us to go forward. But sometimes we carry so much in our shoulders by not trusting in God to help us to do better. If I don't have social media, I said to myself, it will be beautiful, because there will be no many prayers to say, no many complications or worry about people. Last week, I found that there is about 5 families who are active in our church who got been infected with COVID-19. One of them are catechists. But yet, they have stopped coming to church since the lockdown, so March 11 or 13. So I feel good because they were unable to join us during the last few weeks at the celebration. But I feel terrible because besides prayers, you say, what should I do? And there is not much you can do. But just to trust in God and to rely on Him that they will be better. Yes, I check it out on them through social media all the time. One day they don't post, then I call them. Everything is fine. Oh yeah, I was busy with something else. And they are recovering at home, all of them. So that's a good news. But yet, it's still scary for many of us. So let us take seriously what's going on. Let us protect ourselves. Let us trust in God. Let us always be aware that God's Holy Spirit is helping us, guiding us. and allow God the Father to be the great image of love and mercy for all of us. And for you who are fathers, I know that you really care and love your children. I miss my dad very much. Nobody, not even my mother, was more excited when I entered the seminary than my dad. He really was looking forward to the day I get ordained. And he told me many times that I should be the best priest I can be. And I try every single day to improve. I know that I am a sinful man. I know that many times I am not the best example. But I remember the words of my dad. You're going to be a mediocre priest. It's embarrassing for the family. It's better for you to sit in the pew and be a lay person. So on Father's Day, I honor my dad. And I ask God to grant him peace and to rest in his arms. But I ask to all of you who are fathers, who be great example to your children, but in different ways.